Hey guys, welcome back to my garden. We're going to spend a little time today working on these tomatoes. They are coming along so well. If you can see them, I'm super happy with how things are looking. We're going to come in here and we're going to do some pruning of our tomatoes. So let's get these tomatoes pruned and I'll explain to you why they need to be pruned and what needs to be pruned. So let's have a look at my paste tomatoes first. So paste tomatoes are a determinate tomato, and as you can see, I've already got some flowers already growing here, but I also already have some paste tomatoes growing here, which is amazing. Paste tomatoes are determinate tomato. So determinate tomato, you do not want to prune. All the offshoots, these are all meant to do a certain determined amount of tomatoes, and they will grow a certain amount of time. So this one we will leave. That's why they're in the tomato cages. They're only supposed to grow at determined height. Everything's determined about that. But on to our other tomatoes that are not determined. These three here are a heirloom tomato. So they have tomatoes already growing as well. I like to give them a little shake just to make sure, though I know the bees are in this area. But I just want to make sure that they are going to be pollinated. But I will just give that a little thing that helps with pollination. All tomatoes have both the male and female sex inside the flower. So it's just a motion that creates the pollen to go to the actual flower and allowing it to be pollinated. So that's how that works. If you're growing up a trellis or anything, I'm using these metal bars as my trellising. So as you can see, I've just got it going around and it'll just grow up where I can have it going up right up through this, up to this height here. And usually by the time it gets up to that height here in Canada, I'm already all overgrown. So it actually does support it quite well. And what you want to do is have one main leader. So as you can see, this is the main leader. This here is the part that we're going to prune off. So I'll take that off so it doesn't grow further out. And look at, I'm going to have more flowers here, more flowers there. I need to take this one, remove it. There we go. Now this one here, as you see, I don't know if you can see this one, it's actually quite big. I could technically take this, put it in water, and it'll grow a whole new plant. So I'm going to actually take some of these, and now if you lived somewhere where it stays hotter longer, like in the south, you would actually be able to take this, put it in water, and you can do a second growing of tomatoes. But as for here in Canada, I probably won't be able to do a second growing. Now I have actually some more that are actually much larger than that. Now if you look at this one over here, I have it going up the trellis. I have it, this one here is much larger and it grows all the way out here. I don't have any tomatoes on it yet. Do I? Oh no, I do have little tomato seedlings. So now this is a double leader. So you can do double leaders. So this one I will have to prune off right here. So I pruned this one off. So it's even bigger than the previous one I showed you. And let's just continue to prune off. See, this one has a little tomato in it. Okay. So there isn't any other ones. So that's what I'm looking for, is just to prune off any of those, what we call the armpit of the tomato. Let's continue on with more. This one over here was given to me as a chocolate tomato, and I was just told it's a chocolate tomato. However, watching it grow, I've already had one stem grow and animals came and took off all the cherries, tomatoes on it, but as you can see, they are cherry tomatoes. So they are quite, look at, with them being this dark, this tells me it gets lots of sun, which is super exciting because I was concerned about whether or not I was getting enough sun back in this area. As you can see, it's quite shaded right now. Now, if I step back, you can see the sun is starting to come over, and as the sun goes closer in the sky, you'll see it's here. It's going to come over here, and eventually I'll get the sun over here. So it is afternoon sun. So that will work for getting the sun all afternoon long on these babies, which is good. So it gets afternoon sun. So then let's prune up some more. So I won't, cherry tomatoes, you're not supposed to prune as well. And the reason why with cherry tomatoes you don't really prune is it's similar to, it doesn't have a determined, but if you cut off your leaders, you will lose cherry tomatoes. So I'm going to have to get a square cage and trellis that. My only problem with that, with this being so overgrown, this guy back here might not get as much sun, which is disheartening, but it is what it is. There's not much I can do about that now because I did not know that this was a cherry tomato. On to this one. I have not set it up on its thing yet, but you will see here that I have this armpit here. Look at This is the main leader, and it's split. And now I've got this one as the main, and then I've got this one has 2 suckers that can come off. So I might do a double leader with this one as well. There's a lot of them that's going to get the double leader. I just have to take this one off. Hopefully there wasn't any tomatoes growing on that yet. Nope. But look at that, is one of my largest so far. They're just getting larger and larger. So those all can go in water and can be a new tomato plant. Oh, look at this one. Let's go to this one. This is my tiny peach. I think it's a peach, maybe not. Hold on. It is, no, my pink ponderosa. You would think it's because of light that is causing the issue with these ones being smaller, but these ones are big over here, so these ones would get just as much sunlight as this one does. I just put the smaller ones in the front that were smaller growing, and that's where they are. I'm gonna have to relabel all of these because for some reason these are, oh yes, orange tomatoes, pink ponderosa, peach. So I don't know what these are because this one is my mortgage lifter. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that does. I grew lots of tomatoes. So these ones are my Ananas Noir. These ones are my Black Crimson. Let's continue on. As you see, this one also created a double leader. Both sides are growing. So from here on, I'm just going to take out all the armpits. This one I've actually got it growing into, there's where it split, and it actually split into 2. It was not, here is a second armpit that should have been done a long time ago, but I don't want to lose these tomatoes. So I will let it grow 2 leads. Now I will have to come up with a choice for trellising it an option for trellising it because this main might not be able to support both, but so far, so good. We have lots of tomatoes growing on this, but I need to get rid of all the other ones that are trying to grow, and we'll continue on with that as well. And you have to continue to prune throughout the whole season. Usually grow after the main leaf, so all these little ones down here are from the growth of these because I pulled off all of the stems down here already, but then the arm, what we call suckers, that's what we call it, but that's where we're pruning from. That one. I'm just going to pull off they're little, so they come off pretty easy. There we are. And then this is already trellising up this stem, so once this grows, I'll just keep continuing winding it around. The ones in the back have to be round, so I'll show you how I do it. This one here also has a double leader, but this one is branching out wide. So I've put in another pole here to help trellis this one up. And then after that, we'll come through and prune off all of these little pieces and just see how that goes. There's some more starting to grow. Really looking forward. We are really close to getting some tomatoes. I think that's where we're at with that one. Let's go to the back. Here I'm taking off some of the lower leaves. And it's just a matter of cleaning up your tomato. Here's my peach. I'm going to take off some of the growth down on the bottom that's starting to grow out. The suckers that are going off where the old leaves were. Look at that. It's doubling up here as well. And they're both leaves, so I don't know. And this is how you get the stems from that splitting, where they split. Which one do you end? Like this one has the flowers on it. But this one eventually will grow flowers as well. We'll see as it grows, but let's encourage it to grow up that stem there. Alright, we're coming back to the back over here. And now let's look at this one. I have not got it going up this here, and we do have a lot of suckers growing. The sucker, the base leaf. All these base leaves can come off. And this one, now I think, I don't know if this is too far away from it or what, but let's see if I can get it to grow up into here. fix that. Let's fix this. I'm gonna take this tomato, take this out. I'm gonna move it closer here where it can actually encourage it to grow up. And then I can actually, yeah, you just kind of spin it into where it's growing. And then it can grow up that. There we are. This is one of my largest tomatoes in the garden. So let's look and see what cleaning up we need to do here. It does have a double leader as well. This is the one that I showed you from the other side, that they're going in right here together, which is okay. I'm going to take off some of the bottom leaves to allow for, it allows a ventilation as well, so that there's air down here, but also what it'll do is less soil problems. Oh, did you see my little spider friend? I keep them in the garden. They're good for my garden. All right, so let's keep pruning. This is far away from it, so let's bring it a little closer and encourage it to grow into that trellis. So this is like doing the string method, except for I'm limited to the height of this, whereas with the string you can drop it down. I can't drop them down, but we don't have a long growing season here in Canada, so it worked for me last year, it'll work for me this year, and the person I got most of these stakes from has grown this way for many, many years, and she's been done growing tomatoes for the last couple of years, and she just keeps gifting me more and more of these because I keep growing more and more tomatoes. All right, let's continue on to this spot here. So hopefully you understand the taking off of the suckers, but see, this is where it splits, and I'm thinking most tomatoes probably do split, but I will encourage this to go up that trellis there. And I'm supposed to have one more tomato here, but that tomato I gifted to a friend, and so therefore I don't have one for here, and it's okay, they just get more space. And let's see, let's get this one going up the trellis. I'm going to take off this bottom stem. There we are. And I see how it is close, but for some reason the tomato doesn't want to go into it maybe. Oh, there we go. There we go. Now the last one I need to worry about is this one here. There's my little friend. I don't think there's much more in ways of pruning for this one. I just need to get it into its trellis, which I think I'm going to do that. Sometimes just turning this, there we go, encourage it up the trellis. There we go. So now all of my tomatoes are climbing up the trellis, except for that one over there. I just realized isn't. We'll go figure that out. It's the one that's got double. So what I think I'll do with that, here, let's bring me to the front. Here we are. Now, in this section here, oh, that's the tomatoes growing. Okay. Like, I think I'll get one. I gotta figure out how to encourage it to grow up that trellis. So I just turn the trellis and hopefully it'll grow up that trellis. And then if I need a second one, I'll use the one from the cherry tomato once I get it set up and put it over here. And that's how we'll do that. So there you go, guys. There's my tomato garden so far. I kept up with the weeds. It's been pretty easy. I just come over here, and after I water it, I just pull out the little weeds because they're actually pretty easy to pull up once it's rained and I'm able to lift it up. I'm gonna have to be careful because I have seeded some more basil in this area, so I don't want to pull up too many seedlings because I want to make sure I'm not pulling up any basil. But this is what my tomato garden is looking like. Thank you guys for coming along with me as I pruned up my tomatoes and cleaned things up in my tomato bed. The sun's coming out more. If you like this video, go ahead and click the thumbs up, the like button. And if you're not following along with me and want to see more of my videos, go ahead, click that subscribe button and follow along with me in my journey in 2024 and 2024's garden. Until next time, guys. Bye.